You don't have to talk into that.
Hello, testing, 1 2 1 2. Hello, my name's Nigel, and I'm 66, and I've been sailing since I was 40 something, and powerboating since I was 20 something. So I've always had boats, and it's always been my dream to come to the French canals on a boat. And when I got made redundant, it kick-started my dream about 3 years ago. Who are you?
I'm Yasmin, and I'm 68.
Wow,
Nigel's
really?
partner in crime. Yeah, I mean, I'd never been on a small boat, a yacht, or until I met Nigel, and he took me out in it, and I was scared to death. But yeah, getting used to it. We've gotten used to it, and thoroughly enjoy it. Super.
How much fun, on a scale of 1 to 10, is coming through France to get to where we are now?
It was initially, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd put it around 8. There's been 4s and there's been 9s, but the initial part of the journey was coming across the channel, which was fraught because we took the decision to come across the channel with the mast down because we couldn't get a sensible answer out of anybody in Honfleur or in Rouen. They had a crane, but it was broken. It might be fixed. So I took the decision to do it across the channel with the mast down, which was a mistake because we got a side-on wind and we rolled and rocked and rolled and rocked for 20 hours. I didn't see a ladyship for 20 hours, so I was there with the worst cold this side of the black stump, sinus infection, 20 hours non-stop. It was horrendous. So that was on a scale of 1 to 10, about a 1. And then once we got into France, up the Saint Rouen, it was great. That's when the adventure started, because the sun came out and we were getting somewhere.
I found the French to be more friendly than I expected.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they were. I was expecting them to be unfriendly. I was expecting them to be average. And everywhere I've gone, I've been blown away by the helpfulness and the friendliness.
We've not come across anybody who's been unhelpful or unfriendly, apart from one lockkeeper. And he refused to speak English until the very last moment when he said, no, you have to go left, after saying he doesn't speak English. So that was the only time. But other than that, they've been super helpful, everybody in the shops. If you try and speak a bit of French, they help you or they understand you. And as we've gone on, we've picked up a little bit of French here and there, haven't I?
You have.
And I find if it's in context like days of the week or numbers or something, you can get by. Even when you call the lockkeepers up on the radio and they say, I'm preparing the Ecluse, whatever it is in French, you can understand them.
Yeah, I'm going to want you to write a couple of words down, sentences down, so I can just pretend I'm French and stuff.
That's it, yeah. When they answer in French, then you're stumped. But at least you announce you're coming and you're going to be there in 5
I can remember when I was at school, they taught us to say, quelle heure est-il?
Yeah.
What is the time? But then they'd tell you the time back in French and you'd be like, whoa.
Yeah.
What have you learned about sailing or life doing this?
We had a trial run before we came out. We went from Southampton down as far as Plymouth and every stop in between. And it was a trial run so we could live off-grid with the solar panels and how long would the water last, using seawater to rinse the dishes, seawater boiled potatoes or carrots, whatever it is, it's already pre-salted. And it worked well. The boat worked well, everything seemed to be fine. And that was like the if you like, the catalyst, right, we can do it, we can live off-grid. We've been here doing it for 7 weeks or 10 weeks, whatever it was. Mainly anchoring in bays or going on pontoons where there's no power or water. So yeah, that was like the starting point. And then every day's a school day on the boat, I find. Every day is something different's going to happen. But I've learned how the boat handles, how it turns, how it doesn't go backwards very well, and how to anticipate before you break something. You know you're going to drift that way, so you take avoiding action. So yeah, every day is a school day, but I've learned a lot about the boat itself.
And it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I mean, I don't know if I liked school that much, but I'm enjoying this more than I did school.
No,
Even though you're learning every day, it's like...
I did the day skipper course which I thoroughly enjoyed. Every part of it. It was brilliant. And like you at school, I couldn't be bothered. It was a chore to learn, but learning about sailing and charts and navigation and tides and wind, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, but it's something that you love, so that makes a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To do that. So I'm just learning as I go along.
Yeah.
Aren't I?
So I'm a nominated carer for you then, aren't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to do that day skipper course. I haven't done it yet.
No.
They were offering it at Bisham Abbey, but they were so confused dealing with COVID they couldn't help. I couldn't even get their radio course together, so I gave up with them and did it at the Dover Sea School.
No, it was worth doing because it was in the evening, so I didn't have to take any time off work to do it, and it was over 16 weeks, I think, one evening a week, plus the homework. But it was easy for me. I really enjoyed doing it.
How many times have you fallen in the water recently?
Recently, just the once, and it was spectacular, and it wasn't very cold. No, but I got off the boat and I keep saying to Yasmin, because if we moor with the steps on one side, it's easy, but this time we couldn't do, so we had to climb over the wire. I mind the ropes, and I got off head first. I went in head first with a fully clothed, wallet, phone, the lot.
But there are people. There's two types of people on boats: people who have fallen in and people who are going to fall in.
Yeah,
and we're all. I've fallen in.
I've fallen in.
Yeah, and I just thought it was funny because it was like I was wearing socks instead. I didn't put my shoes on, and they were. I went to step on the rear thing.
the most dangerous thing on a boat is flip-flops.
Yeah.
This one's bit the dust. That's it.
Yeah, they're bad.
Yeah.
They are bad.
But they're dangerous on boats with ropes.
Yeah.
And everybody wears them.
I don't.
No, I live in flip-flops.
Yeah, I'd rather be barefoot.
Yeah. Luckily, everything in the wallet was plastic and the phone was waterproof. So.
Well, that's one of the good things. I mean, I took out 50.
Yeah. Hello.
Oh,
You're not recording?
hello.
Hello.
We are actually recording, but
sorry.
it's okay.
Okay.
No. What's your question?
Are you staying here tonight?
Yes.
Okay. Because then I don't bother to lock the boat.
No,
No,
it's
that's
okay.
fine. We're here.
We'll break in and steal everything for you. Okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
Do you miss
Have you
anything?
got?
Should I tell you
I'm
where
looking
it is?
for I'm looking for a new chart plot or anything.
Yeah.
He's got a nice rain marine one. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Rain marine.
Right, terrific.
Lovely man.
That's what I like about boating is the trust. Everybody helps each other.
Yeah.
I mean, you see a boat coming up.
Underneath the bench.
Thank you. Wherever you go, people will. I think there's only been a couple of times where people sat in their boat and watched you come in and watched you struggle, but it's only been twice in my boating career.
Yeah.
More often than not, everybody will come out and grab the ropes for you.
Yes, I mean there is I mean, like if you had vintage motorcycles or if you collected old kettles or something like that, there's a community of people, but it's a particularly good community of people. Probably because they've had the shit kicked out of themselves, and they know they've gone through it as well, and they're like, "Oh, poor bastard, let me go help him," you know. So you do get that, and it is nice.
It is nice.
When I was in California, I went to this Burning Man event a bunch of times, and so you live through the hardship of that event, but it created a community of people that were just amazingly helpful. Whenever you try and do any interviews, I'm surprised there's not someone doing aerobatics right above the boat, because that's usually what happens.
They really can't drive. This is really bad.
No, I think he was trying to freak her out. He's like, what? And she's like, no!
I don't know. They're bad.
They're not bad, they're good. It was funny, right at the beginning, as we started the interview, a guy on a motorcycle went by and did a wheelie, like right behind you, which is kind of
On a bicycle,
no, on a motorcycle.
motorcycle.
Wow.
Okay.
Quite a big motorcycle, not
Yeah,
one of those little.
right.
France would do good to actually ban two-stroke motors. Those little like me, horrible, and the leaf blowers and stuff. But hey, so how did you end up in Lyon, and where are you going next?
Lyon was the last natural stop before we hit the mighty Rhone, and we've stopped. We tried to do sort of 4 hours to 6 hours per day and find somewhere nice to stop. We have stopped quite a lot just on the side of the bank, put the stakes out. But Lyon is the last stop. We've enjoyed the town, walking around,
Useful.
and then the next stop is going to be Marseille.
Right.
Well, the next major stop will be Marseille, where we put the mast back up.
Yeah. I've been especially impressed when you pull into some little town in France and there's a mooring that's clean and there's a mooring that's clean, it's got power, it's got water, and you just plug in and
it's free.
And it's free.
It's free, yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I had budgeted like €10 a night to pay for power, but you know, it's wonderful.
We found that I liken it to Yarmouth in the south of England, where for a boat this size you'd pay £50 a night, and you could be rafted 3 out, which I think is taking the piss basically.
Yeah.
And they're getting the triple the mooring charge, but people will pay it. You know, it's supply and demand. Whereas here, which is what, 18, 19 euros a night. The middle of Paris was what, 28 or 30 euros a night. It's cheap, and it's a fair price for what you get.
And they're friendly and helpful.
Yeah,
They are, yeah.
Like a couple of marinas that I won't mention back in the UK were less than helpful, should we say?
yeah. When you look at MDL marinas, and you look at Premier, you look at Dean and Reddyhuff.
Ting Dean.
Yeah, they're all they're out for your money.
Yeah. It's a different world.
It
and,
is,
and
yeah.
better. I mean, it sounds simple to be that like basic about it, but they just do it better. And they're not a boating country. The UK is supposed to be a boating country.
An island, yeah.
But you know. So you leave here and you get to the Med. Then what?
We get to the Med and we put the mast up. That's the first thing. We're debating whether or not to lift the boat out and scrape it and anti-foul it. I'm leaning now towards getting the mast up and getting a bit of sailing done and getting as far east as we can to avoid the heavy prices. If you look at Montenegro, our neighbours told us was £150 to £200 a night in Montenegro. In Croatia.
Wow.
Which was crazy. I thought it was going to be cheap as chips up there, but it's
I've got a feeling that number might not be correct.
yeah.
There's probably places in Greece that you just tuck in a
In
little
Greece, yeah,
cove.
but if you go up to
No, this is Croatia.
Yeah, but
Croatia.
I've been to Croatia, and they were little marinas. They were really nice, and there's lots of them, and they're like maybe 30 or 40 boats, like this size, maybe a couple of like that, a couple like mine, a couple smaller ones, and they were €20 a night. And then there's a little bar in the corner, and everyone just gathers in the bar.
yeah. At the moment, I'm just the first challenge was getting across the channel and up to Rouen, because you had to punch the tide for a first part, but you have to do it in one hit. So there's been stages, and when we get to Marseille and get the mast up, that will be the end of that stage. I've not really thought about the next stage yet, other than going east. The Greek islands around the Iona I'd like to get to. That sounds idyllic. Bit of Italy.
It's kind of funny because you look at pictures online and you're like, and you see boats that look like yours, and you're like, wow. And then you can actually do it.
Yeah,
It's a bit surreal.
I was looking at Navali, because there's a few little islands off of Marseille where you can anchor in the bay, and Navali is an app. You probably have Navali, do you? And you can post review or whatever you want. So that's quite useful. I'd be using that.
Yeah, I opened it for the first time in about a year, and I'm like, because it had my old boat on it,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, cool. And they've upgraded it, they've added more stuff, and it seems like quite a good app, very useful.
That and talking to people, other people's experience,
Yeah.
is also good. So we're going east, that's for sure, because if we go west, we're round the Bear Biscay, we're going home. And this boat's not going back to the UK. We'll wind up. The ultimate goal, which is a long way away, is Northern Cyprus. If we last that long. The boat should last that long, but if we last that long, not mean as a couple, mean in sort of teeth and bones and health and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was there's a channel called Sailing Uma, and they were like thinking they've got their different timelines, and they've got their 10-year timeline, and they're thinking Indonesia, Japan, and stuff like that. And you think, wow, just this. Their boat's the same size as yours. I think it's 36 foot. What yours is?
37.
37.
Yeah.
So your boat's bigger than theirs.
Depends who's asking and how much
Yeah,
they're paying. Yeah.
that's right.
So yeah, I'd like to get as far east as possible. I mean, looking at Google Earth, that's easy, but when you look at the scale on the map, it's like 400 miles, and that's we reckon I don't know, and probably no more than 2 days passage time, which would include 2 nights.
Right.
So you'd have to put your big girl's pants on and knuckle down.
I know. It's just like sitting up though in the dark on your own.
It's quite eerie. It's quite eerie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've never done it, so.
But you've got a chart plot with AIS. Anything big, you'll see it. It'll beep.
You can always
Yeah.
plan to do a night where there's a phone.
Yeah.
That helps. Kind of helps your mental thing.
So then you got a plan for the wind. No tide in the which is good, isn't it?
No tide. That's true.
Plan for the full moon. That's going to restrict when you can go, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, that's a nice idea, but
It's going to be tonight.
well, we're going to have to wait
Yeah.
17 days.
Yeah. Oh, it's cloudy tonight.
Yeah. Oh, another month.
So no, we want to. Everybody's dream is to anchor off a little Greek island somewhere, take the dinghy ashore for a taverna, and have a little walk around and stay there for 2 or 3 weeks, and then anchor off somewhere else. That's what we want to do.
It's kind of what I want to do as well. I just ended up with a motorboat because it was less to learn.
Okay.
I mean, more to learn mechanically, but I kind of like all that stuff. But trying to learn to sail as well as everything else seems a little bit of a steep curve.
I'm no expert in sailing. I mean, it's every day you learn something with the sailing. I can put the sails up, I can make the boat go in the direction I want it to go, but then the finer parts of trimming the sails to get the best out of it. I'm not sure how much it will work with these old sails and this rig, but that's the kind of stuff. What I'd like to do is have somebody come on board for a few days, just go sailing with them, just to teach me the way to trim it properly.
Right.
But we get 6-7 knots out of it under sail, which is quite healthy.
Yeah.
Doesn't cost anything, the wind is free.
There you go.
Yeah, it sounds great. And I might end up even doing it. I don't know.
It's an old boat. We don't have I described it to Henrik next door, Henrik, as quite primitive compared to his. He has a water maker, bow thruster, central heating, blown air in the cockpit when it's a bit chilly, twin helms.
Wait, he has blown air into the cockpit.
Yeah, so blown air output.
Yeah, warm air
cockpit,
into the cockpit. Yeah.
What year is this?
1983.
Okay.
So it's an old boat, and they painted it at some stage, which wasn't particularly good, but it doesn't leak anymore. It doesn't leak any less.
Because that was when I first started thinking about boating. That was the lesson I learned first: is that the water stays on the outside, which is a very important lesson.
Yeah. And the first thing you do, as we spoke before, if there's a leak, you dip your finger in it. Is it salt or is it fresh?
Yeah.
Where's it coming from? It doesn't work in the canal, so does it?
No.
Is it? Do I get food poisoning or am I okay?
Have you had anything go wrong?
Have we had anything go wrong? Not on this trip. No, I don't think. No. The what have we fixed? there's nothing dramatic. Nothing stopped us. Yes, when we first started out, we came out of Southampton, up the Southampton water, and out towards the Bembridge ledge, and I put the tiller pilot on, which I just recently rewired, and I did it back to front. I shouldn't admit it on camera, so left was right and right was left. It was only 2 wires that were switched in a little socket down there, but off we go. And I thought, we're going the wrong way. You know, we should be going towards Le Havre. We're going towards Portsmouth. So
That was
that was the only thing that I think has gone wrong. It hadn't gone wrong. It was a own goal, self-inflicted. But no, nothing's gone. Nothing's broken. Everything seems to work okay. Having said that, it's a brand new engine in there, brand new shaft, brand new prop, brand new stern gland. So I don't expect anything to go wrong.
No, that's a good.
Yeah.
And you do check the filter every day, and you make sure.
I
that
do
it's-
daily
yeah.
checks on it, and I do the regular servicing on it. So no, nothing's gone wrong yet.
Touch wood.
So you would advise other people to do such a silly adventure?
My advice is you only live once, yeah, and once it's over, that's it. It's over. If you don't do it now, then you're never going to do it. If you want, and you can sit in the yacht club or your sailing club, and you can bang your gums about, oh yeah, we're going to do this, and then all it is talk, blowing hot air. And I've been talking about it for years and years, and they all thought, well, yeah, it's all talk, and then we went.
We did.
It's gone.
We did. Yeah.
Up and went.
We did.
And I think that the catalyst for it was putting in the second fridge, because we've only got a small fridge, and we do like a cold beer and white wine, don't we? So there wasn't enough room for any food, so we had to put a second fridge in.
Yep, I've got 2 fridges as well.
And
Yeah.
joking apart, but that was the final bit. We put the second fridge in, a new stove, and then that's it. Let's go. Rented the houses out, and we're off.
No regrets.
No,
No,
not at all.
none at all.
No. I say I don't. I only come back for deaths, births, and marriages. I don't think there's any of those coming up just yet.
Hopefully not.
No, I think
Well,
so.
you
no.
can even do court appearances by video these
You
days.
can,
You
right?
can, yeah.
I know.
You can even do funerals by video now.
Can you?
Yeah, that's a little
Yeah.
bit different though.
Yeah.
Could you have an online cremation then? Can you push the button from?
No,
From
no. No, but you can. They can video it now to send it across
Okay, right.
Yeah. to people
Yeah, they're still doing
abroad.
that because of COVID and stuff.
Yeah,
But
it's a good idea though.
So no regrets. No, a little bit apprehension with the anchoring in places if the wind gets up. I think everybody's got that, but we've got a oversized anchor. We've got 10mm chain, which is extremely heavy. I'm going to put another bit of rope on the end to give me about 100 metres all told. And we've been anchored. We've actually been anchored in some bad weather before, and it doesn't move that much. One of the mistakes we did make was relying on the anchor watch on a phone, because you drop the anchor and then you set a perimeter where it can go 100 feet this way, that way, or whatever it is. But
The
the
first
satellite
night, wasn't it?
suddenly jumps 150 feet. All of a sudden, 3 o'clock in the morning, your anchor alarm goes off,
Yeah,
and you think, drag the anchor. So that's
and
the
that
thing.
happened a few times, didn't it?
Until I realised what happened, yeah. And then we tied up alongside someone. I put the anchor alarm on, and it still went off because the satellite moves and it's not accurate.
yeah, I've got several different ones. I found one of them was more reliable than another, so I just got rid of
The
it.
chart plotter's got a pretty good GPS
Okay.
receipt, an accurate one, but I wouldn't use a phone or a tablet for it because it's not accurate.
Yeah, mine went off, but it was because I was dragging my anchor.
Okay, well, it worked then, yeah.
Dragging and dragging and dragging and dragging and dragging and dragging. About
Yeah.
3 kilometres, I think I dragged.
Oh
Crikey.
dear.
No, we
I
haven't.
couldn't pull it up.
All
It's a long
right.
story.
Oh dear.
You-
I'll
you
send
thi-
you the link to the video.
We've seen. What we normally do is you take, as you've been taught, you take a fix on something, and you watch. If you don't drag it, but it's difficult because the boat swings around with the tide.
Yeah.
Talking to Heinrich, he's fearful about going to tidal waters because where they live in
Yeah.
Denmark, there's no tide.
What? No tide?
No.
No.
Where they sail, there's no tide, so I don't.
Why not?
I don't
Whereabouts in Denmark is that? Oh, mate, it must be. Yeah, it's in that east of Copenhagen. It's
Yeah.
down that way. It's not in the rest of Denmark.
But where we are, where we were sailing round, I was trying to explain to him about round the back of the Isle of Wight. There's a double tide,
Oh yeah.
and going through the Needles, if you catch it wrong wind over tide, it can be horrendous. But
We've
luckily,
done all that, haven't we?
we've been there, yeah. But in
Mm.
the Med, there's no tide, half a metre maybe, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think we're done. I think that's
Right.
good.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Wait, bye.
Bye bye.
Toodle pip.
Well, that wasn't too bad, was it?
I don't know, you might get something out of it, might you?
Yeah. I mean, it's like when I did